Hey guys, it's Friday. This is day number 5 of the run of podcasts of A Waste of Time with It's the Real that we are calling February Surprise.
Surprise, good things come to an end, but do not worry, we will be back on Tuesday with another episode. But for today, we've got Mike Carson on the podcast.
So Mike Carson, and maybe people don't know because this is the first substantial interview that he's ever done. He is Big Sean's creative director. And he's got a great story. But, Jeff, before we get into that story, I wanted to say a little something to the people. Now, whether you've been rocking with us for nearly a decade, or if you're brand new to us, thanks to this very here podcast, we appreciate you. Listen, we're just two kids who grew up loving hip-hop music and hip-hop culture, and we are so grateful that we've carved our own lane in this world, and we've been around for, going on 10 years. Now, whether it's weekly sketch videos or absurdist interviews, podcasts, or even our music videos, you guys have been there to support, to spread the word, and to push us forward.
In just a few weeks, the two of us are going to be living out our dream and headlining SOBs here in New York City. It is called Your Girls Tour. And you know who's been on that stage. Everybody from Kanye to Drake to John Legend to 2 Chainz to Schoolboy Q and Kendrick and Chance the Rapper. And now these two idiots. But having attended a million concerts at SOBs over the last 10 years, we know what kind of opportunity this is. And we've been working very hard over the last 2 months getting ready for an unforgettable night.
So here's the thing. We don't just want to show up on February 23rd. Like we've done our whole career, let's aim for the sky and listen, let's sell SOBs out.
And this is where you can help. New York City,
Brooklyn,
the Bronx,
Westchester,
New Jersey,
Connecticut,
and beyond, South Harlem. If you love It's the Real, if you appreciate what we bring to the game, if our podcast is a soundtrack to your commute, if we can bring laughs to an otherwise shitty day, show us some love for this concert and buy your tickets today. I don't care if you're in New York. I don't care if you're outside of New York. Buy your tickets today to Your Girls Tour on February 23rd. Tickets are literally the price of a movie, and please know that this night will be a movie.
So go to ItsTheReal.com right now. Don't wait any longer. Go to ItsTheReal.com. And let's make history together. Jeff, we have Chicago's own Mike Carson in the building today. Tell the people a little something about him.
Mike Carson, we have known since he was 18 and couldn't get into clubs. That was our job to get him in. He has watched The Throne. He has filmed The Throne. He has been the creative director for Big Sean. He has done visual work for Drake and Bryson Tiller and beyond. He is somebody who I have said will be my boss one day, and I truly believe it. He is the future.
When do you want to get into this episode?
Right now.
Yo, what up? It's Eric, a.k.a. Harrison Ford, a.k.a. stomping in my Air Force One.
Yo, what up? It's Jeff, a.k.a. wrist so cold, a.k.a. wearing short sleeves.
Yo, it's Mike Carson, a.k.a. Lil Uber X, a.k.a. your mama's favorite director.
Yeah, this is a waste of time with It's the Real. Mike, congratulations, number 1, on the release of this new Big Sean album. And congratulations on your whole career. We're super excited to have you up here to talk about the whole thing.
Man, thank you. I'm honored to be here.
We've known you since you were what,
18?
Yeah. It's crazy.
I was thinking about that on the ride here. Only a few people have known me since I was 18 that I still know today.
Every once in a while, all of Good Music will do shows together.
Very rarely, yeah.
I mean, but every once in a while. But so how does that work in terms of creative visions? Because everybody seems to have a creative director, right? And so you have 6 creative directors.
I don't think there's been a real Good Music show since the creative director era. If you think about it, the last real life Good Music show was South by.
Yeah.
If you think about it, for real, okay, we're gonna really get everybody in one room and plan this out. That wasn't even really planned out. It was at South by in 2012. Mm-hmm. So there hasn't been a real Good Music. Summer Jam was okay, Governor's Ball got canceled, and we're going to all come out on Sean's set. Mm-hmm. So we were already there, and it was okay, here we're going to write the set list. I think we knew, there was okay, Kanye might come out, and then it was okay, Kanye is coming out, so I had a plan of what I thought it was going to be, and then we got back there. Not the case, which is cool. So we all just sat there and did the set list, and then I remember how all these like looks in my head like that I was gonna do, and then like I'm walking out and like Kanye is like, "This ain't Tumblr. Do one look." I was like,
Are you still on Tumblr?
No.
Yeah,
because we were just talking about this. Like,
yeah, I don't know if the value still translates in.
It was a pocket where I was
2017.
way too much on Tumblr. Like, very inspired by Tumblr.
40ounceman.tumblr.com.
Not at all. But yeah, so like good music. I think there's like a good music show this year or something, like at a festival.
Is there a good music Tumblr?
There's a good music.
Yeah,
there's a good music.
100,000 good music Tumblr.
There's like a good music Twitter that's verified. I have no idea who runs it. It's a lot of.
It's me.
I knew it.
Yeah. I'm glad that the truth finally came out.
That's right. That's right. Where are you originally from?
From Chicago, like the burbs.
Yeah.
So, and then I moved here, and then I moved to LA. So
And that's it. Bye.
Which suburb of Chicago are you from?
West Burbs, so like Bellwood, Maywood area.
Okay.
And then
Is that like where Home Alone was shot?
no, not that, not quite that suburb. But when I went to high school, I went to like a suburb that was super Home Alone.
Did you have a big family growing up?
No, it's just like me, my brother, my mom, my dad.
Your brother is older or younger?
Younger. He's 20. Well, he'll probably be 21 when this comes out.
So oh really?
Yeah.
Happy early birthday to him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're growing up, you're the oldest child. That means you experience everything first.
Yeah.
So were you getting into trouble as a youngster? Were you good? What were you like?
No, I probably was the good one. I was like editing videos and like
Oh, you were?
watching TV.
What are you using like at that point? VHS or mini DV?
Nah,
or?
I'm like probably YouTube era. So like when
We
I was
get it,
like
you're
9,
young.
yeah. So I wasn't quite like I definitely shot first on tape, which
Yeah.
is mini DV. Actually, no, I didn't shoot first on tape. When I was like 9, my dad bought me this camera. It was like $100. It was called like Digital Blue or something.
Yep.
Which thinking about it now was super ahead of its time because it was like a digital video recorder in like 2000. Yeah, like 2000, and you can like edit crazy like videos, put like explosions and like helicopters on video.
So everything was in camera?
It was in camera, but like you like plugged it into the computer and like you can like do crazy editing. So that was like my first experience with that. At,
And
like,
you were 9.
9, yeah.
Were you a Mac household?
No.
PC?
Yeah, like compact PC.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like a huge tower.
Yeah, huge tower, very slow. Dial-up internet, AOL.
What did did you have like PCs or Apples at your school?
I didn't even like. I never went to a school that had any type of media program.
Nothing.
No, because like I was like growing up, I would do like sound and stuff maybe at school, like like sound engineering or like plays or like school events, but there was no like video program or like graphic program. I went to like middle school. I went to like Christian school, so it was very like assembly, musical church vibe. So I
Right.
was like doing sound.
I thought that God would be like an Apple fan. So
No, not.
Yeah, 10 years ago we had jobs.
I know.
Yeah.
God.
So you're editing video at 9.
Yeah, like 8
Is that
to 9.
because you're watching like movies and saying that's
Yeah,
what
how
I
did
want to
you-
do?
How did
Yeah,
you get
I-
into that?
Honestly, probably just like music videos. Like I like vividly remember being like young, like watching Hype Williams, like Aaliyah videos. And,
Yeah.
like, and then like on the film side, this is gonna sound crazy, but like Robert Rodriguez, like Spy Kids, had
Yep.
this like crazy, like extended featurette thing where he was like showing how he made the movie, and then like he had this like on the side he had this thing called like 10-minute film school, I think it's called. So like the combination of those things, I was like, I want to direct movies at the time. I thought, well, like now I don't want to direct movies.
Did you shoot like just around with like your friends and stuff?
Yeah, really, like when I was like 9, it was like with my brother, like shooting like fake music videos and like
Was he a good subject?
thinking about it now. Yeah, I think it worked out.
Did he just do everything that you asked of him?
Yeah, like at a young age. And then like once I like got older, it was like, all right, friends like start to rap and stuff. So it's like, oh shoot, my like rap thing.
When we were growing up, we went to a day camp, right, over the summer, and they did have some sort of like photography and
Video program
and radio for a time too, where they had this like little like pirate radio station that we just took over. So if you like drove by the camp for those like like
100
2
feet,
blocks.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's dope.
you get like to hear like 1047 or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And so, but when we did all these movies, like it got to the point where we were just like, you had 40, 12 and 13-year-olds, and we're like, somehow we're gonna recreate
The Thriller video.
no, it was
Beat It.
Beat It. Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson Beat It, and it was just like, I'm sure a lot of those kids had no sort of understanding of it, but like for us who were just like in charge of it, we're like, oh yeah, that's gonna make sense. Did you ever write any movies early back then, and like have any just like bizarre plot lines? Because we also had like, we were just like, oh yeah, Men in Slacks, like a 70s version of Men in Black.
I think you guys were way more creative than me, so
No, we just like puns.
that's tight.
Yeah.
At that point, you're working with an in-camera situation. You're doing effects yourself. You're working with your brother. At what point do you sort of like branch out and start collaborating with other friends? And
I think like school projects, like by the time I got to like high school, I'm like skipping a lot of stuff, but by the time I got to like high school, it was like, all right, you have to like do this presentation, and it's usually like a PowerPoint or a poster or something. I was like, I'll make a video, which is thinking about it now, it's way harder,
right.
but at the time it was like, I was like, this is way more fun than me. Like we read like Beowulf.
Yeah.
We did like it's probably still on YouTube now.
Really?
It's like, I have to find it.
Well, what is it?
It's like a full 13-minute recreation of Beowulf.
Whoa.
For school.
Directed by Mike Carson.
Yeah, 70 million views.
Yeah, 70 million negative views.
So wait, so you go from public elementary school to
I went to like probably like elementary to middle. Middle was like when I really started like figuring myself out in like the media sense of things. So I was like doing sound and playing around with the video stuff and like making beats and stuff.
while you're in Catholic middle school.
Yeah, it was Christian middle school. Yeah.
Christian middle school.
Very
So
black.
We don't know the difference.
Yeah.
Very, very black.
Well, so yeah, what are your teachers? Are your teachers giving you any like creative sort of help in
Nah.
that regard?
Nah.
You're just getting it all out outside of that.
I had like one music teacher who was like super like supportive of just me as a creative in the sense of like, yo, take piano, yo, this is how you do sound. He gave me like a mixing board, but not in like a here's how to do videos. It was like YouTube, man, and like just figuring it out.
So you're 6'8", 6 or 7?
Probably, yeah.
How are you at playing the piano?
I was not 6'8" in middle school. So. I wasn't like at the time. I wasn't like super hyped on piano. Like looking back, I like wish I would have just thought about it a little harder. I probably could be like Scott Storch or something.
Oh man.
Not
all you
Scott
need is,
Storch.
all you need is
But,
like a little
like,
bit of cocaine.
I meant more so on the like piano. It's like the freshest on my brain because I keep seeing all these videos of Scott Storch playing piano recently.
Yeah. Did you upload everything you did to YouTube?
No. Well, maybe in high school, yeah. I like made all these videos private, but I'll show you guys.
Yeah.
If I can find them. But yeah, high school is like when it's like YouTube was like a thing and like trying to get subscribers and stuff. I
Yeah.
probably had like 20 subscribers.
Where did you go from that $100 camera?
I had this like JCPenney digital camera thing my parents got me for Christmas. It's probably like $200, which is like a pretty expensive Christmas gift.
Well,
growing
and
up.
it's double as much as
Yeah, it's
the
Yeah.
first one.
So like that was like more middle school, late middle school times, and then I got a mini DV camera, and that was like a big deal. So it wasn't as easy. You have to like figure out how to use the editing program for real. I think it was like Sony Vegas or something I was using.
All right, so Mike Wax and you first meet up when you're, 17, 18?
17, yeah.
And so Mike Wax was running Ilverts.
Yeah.
Were you also part of Ilverts at the time?
Not at the time. I was just I met him in college.
Right.
I think a friend of mine had a class with him. They were like, yo, this dude Mike Wax. And at the time, I wasn't like really on Ill Roots like that. I think I was super into Two Dope Boys or something.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Does Mike know that?
Probably not, but he will now. They were like, yo, like, I was like, oh, that's crazy.
But you went to Columbia College, right?
Yeah, Columbia College in Chicago. So
How far away from home was that?
not far, like 30 minutes.
You could take the train there?
Yeah, but I lived on campus.
Oh, you did?
Which was like Chicago apartment. I'm still paying for it.
Oh. But what did you think you were going to do with your college career?
I went for television editing, but I knew I didn't want to do that. But that was kind of like a safe, like, everybody's like, don't go to film school. You never get a job. Like, at least try to, like, get a job.
Right.
So it was like, all right, Chicago has, like, a big TV presence, I guess. So it was like TV editing, but I knew I didn't want to do that. But I knew I was pretty good at editing. So, yeah, that's what I went. So, like, I met Mike at, like our school was hosting, like, a B.O.B. concert in, like, the lobby. and like Mike knew B.O.B. or something. So
Sure.
yeah, he was like
Of course he
18
did, yeah.
and he like knew all the rappers.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like I met him there and I like filmed some stuff and like he was like, yo, can I use it for Roots? I was like, yeah, let me put my like website in the site. I think my site was like MikeCarson.tk. Like that was like the free domain at the time. I remember being super hyped. It was on Two Dope Boys. Like, yo, it's on Two Dope Boys.
Yeah. Cool that it's on Two Dope Boys and
Yeah.
okay that it's on Ill Roots.
Yeah, so that was like the beginning of our.
Was B.O.B. the first concert you've been to?
No, first concert I went to was probably Kurt Franklin.
Oh, wow.
And it was crazy. It was like pyro and like him coming out the ground. Like it was real like bad boy.
Yeah.
Like at the height of Kurt Franklin.
So like Stomp.
Stomp.
No, which was right. It was like I think it was a
Oh,
new
the second album? Or-
new Revelation tour,
Yeah.
which is when he was like Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like that was probably my first concert. My first rap concert. This is gonna make me sound really young. Was Cool Kids and Flosstradamus.
Oh, my God.
You are very young.
I know.
Yeah, but I was only 16, which is like rap concert.
Yeah.
That's like that's like rap concert age. First
Yeah.
real rap concert was Glow in the Dark tour.
Wow.
Oh, man.
And then what'd you think of the Glow in the Dark tour?
Still probably today still the best show I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so,
It is the best show you've ever seen.
Yeah, period. Or heard too.
Yeah.
Like the music is like.
but beyond like your video skills, did you have this artistic bent? Were you just like Kanye sees in like
color?
color
Color.
and
Yeah,
Pharrell
he
sees
has,
in
like,
sound, right?
synesthesia or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any like scientific. But I was always just like dabbling, so it was like I would do like music, like make beats, very whatever. I was like doing theater, like behind the scenes stuff, like building sets and doing lighting and playing football at the same time and
What
doing
position?
video. I play like left tackle and like tight end and defensive tackle. But I was not very good.
Okay.
I was like I definitely was like towards the end skipping football practice to like go to like theater.
Smoke cigarettes.
Nah,
Yeah.
to like go do like lighting in theater, which is like super not cool, but it worked out
yeah,
well,
I would say so.
because like most of the kids, like I'm not gonna go there, but
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
What
You
were
know
some
how
of
They
that
work
those?
in like hair salons.
What were some of those?
Shout out to them.
What were some of those like plays that you were lighting?
Did we do Cinderella? I feel like we did like Cinderella or something. I remember I was super hyped because I was like a freshman. I was like the lighting director. It was like in the paper. I was like, oh, this is tight.
Wow.
Way tighter than football.
Yeah.
Because I was not starting. And it
Yeah,
was
you were the
like-
quarterback of lighting.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
exactly. I was a quarterback of theater.
So when you and Mike link up, is this something where you knew you guys were going to be partners going forward?
No, I was just kind of like providing the video aspect of Ill Roots, which it didn't have that video aspect at first. So, and then we just became super close, and then it was like, all right, it was like, yo, it's this concert, you should come and film. I'm like, cool. And then it was like, oh, yo, this person's in town, you should come and film, like, interview. And it's like, cool.
I remember there was we've known Mike since he was in high school,
Yeah.
and
I was like, I
early.
got him into SOBs when he was like 17.
And
Very legendary.
there was an ASAP Mob show at I'm trying to think what hotel it was.
Oh, I know. Bowery.
Oh no, but yeah, Bowery Hotel, and Mike Wax was there, and this was early like ASAP Mob, and he asked me. He was filming on some camera, and he asked me to hold his iPhone, and he's just like, hold it steady and just like film it. And I was
Yeah.
so nervous that I was going to drop his phone and
You
crack
were a
the
film
screen.
major.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
no, yeah, I know, but like, I was really concerned that I would fuck it up, but I don't think I did.
Very rare. Like, we used to do these, like, 3-camera shoots where it's like 7D T2i iPhone.
Yeah.
And piece them together, and you would never know.
Right. I remember, did you guys shoot a music video on a rooftop early on
Yeah.
together? Do you remember who that was for?
A few rooftops.
Okay.
Big Sean, maybe.
Okay.
Lloyd Banks.
Okay. And were these specifically for Ill Roots?
The one for Sean was.
Yeah.
What was cool to me was like, all right, Mike gave me kind of this platform to like, with all these rappers, and like he's super creative, and I like knew how to do video, and I'm super creative too. So it was like, yo, we'll shoot your music video for free if you let us drop it on Ill Roots on our YouTube. So Sean was one of those people. Like Chip the Ripper was definitely the first one.
I remember that, yeah.
Like he's like very ahead of his time for rocking with us.
And by the
Shout
way,
out to Kev.
He changed his name, right?
King Chip, yeah.
King Chip, right,
But at
right.
the time he was Chip the Ripper.
Yeah.
And we were
Cleveland?
all like,
Yeah.
He had the what was the tape? The Cleveland show.
Yeah, something.
That was like when me and Mike really started to like kick off things.
And how did you split up your duties? Like, how does co-directing work for you guys?
At first, it was like me directing, and Mike was like I don't think he was taking director's credit, but he was like putting all of it together and obviously still directing. But it was like a lot of these videos were directed by me at first because I was behind the camera, and it was like, but we were both still directing.
Right.
I don't know. I think I was more on the technical side and the concept side, and Mike was like the glue and like the concept side, and like. Yeah.
So you guys made it through how much of college?
I made it through a year and 2 months.
Yeah.
And Mike made it through a year.
Mm-hmm.
I was like super over it, not learning anything.
Well, how did that conversation go with your parents, though?
Man, it's a crazy, crazy discussion. I probably I can tell you.
Yeah.
Like, so like I met Virgil and Don through Mike at RSVP Gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Virgil, we were out here for like CMJ or something.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like when like Dark Fantasy was coming out, and Virgil was like, "Yo," we had to like drop Virgil's lens off or something, and so happened to be like right outside Ye's house.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, "Yo," like they had just signed Sci-Hi. He was like, "Yo, we have this like Fool's Gold Sci-Hi show. Like I think Kanye's gonna come out. You guys should come film it." So we're like, "Cool." And then he calls us sooner. Yeah, he was like, "I need you guys to come film something for me. Like I'm in the studio." So obviously we're like, "Oh, this is like Kanye." So like our guy Mark, who was at RSVP at the time, who kind of plugged us, he like called us like, "Yo, make sure you guys go get like suit jackets. Like this is like Rosewood."
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
So we went to like Uniqlo and like.
You got a suit at Uniqlo?
No, I just got like the jacket at Uniqlo. I honestly wore this jacket for like a year straight.
Well,
like,
wait, anything fits you at
I was
Uniqlo?
just gonna say.
I was not 6'8" yet. I was like 6'3" maybe. It barely fit me, like barely.
It's like for tiny Japanese people.
It worked, man. Man, I used to live off of like those tees.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like we ended up like filming Ye, and like that whole day, that was like the day Runaway came out too.
Oh my
so it was like a
God.
crazy day. And he was like super hyped in the studio, like playing Dark Fantasy for everybody. So
And again, you're
I'm 18.
18 years old.
Yeah. So I remember having to go back to school like the next day, like the 2 days after. And like I'm just like completely distracted. Like, like no way, man. Like I cannot be in here. So we were like editing this video of like that day. It never came out. And I remember they were like, "Yo, like they're kind of rocking with you. Like they might want to take." Like Virgil might want to like have you come work with him, Virgil.
Yeah.
And I remember telling my parents, it's like, "Yo," like, and they were like, "Whatever happens, you're not about to just up and drop out of school." They're like, "You need to have a plan or whatever." My parents are super big on education. Like,
Sure.
My mom's a teacher or was a teacher.
Oh, she dropped out too?
No, she dropped out of teaching. Yeah. No, never. She still does. She's not a direct teacher right now, but she's still in the field. But yeah, so they were like, "Yo, you guys are not." They're like, "You're not dropping out. Just up and dropping out, I should say." So lo and behold, that day came. I got a call like, "Yo, we need you to come to New York." So I call my parent. I call my mom first, and I'm like, "Yo, I have to go to New York. Like, I have to go to New York." Like. They're like, "That's cool, but you're not dropping out of school. Like, tell your teachers you're gonna be gone for a couple of days." And like, so I came to New York.
What did you tell your teachers?
I told them exactly what was happening.
Whoa.
Like, yo, like,
Did they believe you?
I know, honestly, like, I had, like, when I came back to school after that whole CMJ thing, like, I, like, was skipping a lot of class, and, like, I would, like, tell my teacher, like, "Yo, I have to edit this video for..." It was crazy. I just thought about this. I was editing that stuff and editing the Big Sean 2 Fake video at the same time. So I was like really skipping class trying to finish the Sean video and trying to finish this Ye thing that never came out.
Are you still on PCs or are you on
No,
Mac?
I'm on a Mac.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Final Cut.
Yeah. Thank God.
Very, very life-changing. So I tried to do the school thing like for a couple weeks and like it just wasn't working. So I was out here living out here doing what people do when you get a call from Virgil.
Yeah, but your parents
By the
are
way,
still back.
that's the most unrelatable thing.
Nah, people know. I mean, I can't go into detail, but you can kind of guess what that.
No, of course, but I'm just saying, like, yeah.
But-
like,
They know now. Like
Yeah.
at the time, you didn't know. But like the internet, you can go and
Sure.
search Virgil and like see what that means.
Yeah.
But
He, like,
you skip off to New York.
yeah. So after a while, like I'm like, it's not working. The whole like me trying to remotely send papers back, I wasn't doing it. So I told my mom, I was like, yo, and my dad, like, I was like, I have to like just do this, and they were down.
Creatively, what are you doing in New York?
Following people around with a camera.
Yeah.
We came out here for like a press run, and then like a press run got canceled. So it was like, okay, what do we do? So like me and Mike lived with Virgil for a while, like out here. Me, Mike, Virgil, and Ivan all lived together in an apartment in East Village.
Who was the worst roommate?
It was honestly not that. It's a crazy situation now that I think about it, because it was a 2-bedroom. Virgil had a room and I had a room, which is crazy because Ivan should have had the room.
Yeah,
not
right.
me.
Yeah.
But
Seniority,
Ivan slept on the couch and Mike slept on like a chair for a solid 6 months. I had
chair.
A chair.
Thank God you didn't have to sleep.
Yeah,
in a chair.
maybe that's what it was. I was tall, but like we all lived together, like through like the making of Watch the Throne.
Wow.
So
Who took care of the groceries?
nobody ate like actual food.
Crazy hours.
Yeah, crazy experiences.
And so Watch the Throne, that was not only in New York at the Mercer, but that's also Australia.
Yeah.
Paris, right?
Yeah, I think we came on, like there was a pocket where we weren't filming anything, like outside of like, we weren't filming anything in that space, where like we moved to New York and it was like a standstill of a few months. So I think that's when we got I think we focused more on the Uru stuff. And then we got like a call to go to Australia. Very random. But we were still living with Virgil at the time. He's like, yo, I think it was like a pocket of time where it was like, yo, work with Sean. Like, work with Sean. I was like, all right, cool. Then it was like Australia, can you guys come? I didn't have a passport.
Oh, my God.
No, actually, I got a passport. I didn't have a passport the first time they called me to do something. It was go to Abu Dhabi. So I got a passport the day before. So I had a passport for Australia, but I just got it.
Jeff, when you fly to Los Angeles, right? And you're 6'...
I'm 6'3".
Yeah. How's that for you? Your legs, all that?
It sucks.
Yeah. Mike, you are taller than Jeff.
Yeah.
How is it flying to Australia?
Not tight. I mean, it was tight because it was like you knew what it was, but flying, honestly, man, at this point in my life, I hate flying, which is crazy because I used to love it, but like I hate flying because it's just not comfortable.
Do you make sure that you get like an aisle seat?
Well, I like the economy comfort window seat, which sounds crazy. The reason I don't like the aisle is because if I go to sleep on every flight, and I hate waking up, so I'll have my leg out, and then like you have like a
the cart comes by,
slam your leg, or like somebody tap you. So I'd rather just be in a window, unless it's just no leg room. But like my seat is the economy comfort window seat.
Yeah.
Like if you want to fly me anywhere, it has to be that or first class. It's never first class.
You go to Australia.
Yeah.
You're filming
crazy.
Jay and Kanye and the whole recording process.
Yeah, wait, so how is Jay also down with you filming him, or
I think they were just like cool with Kanye. Like it was like, yo. Yeah, they were cool with it.
Did you know that this was going to be... Did you always think about it in the sense of this is going to be a project that will come out? Or was it just like, this may be just for their files? And did that interfere with your vision whatsoever?
I'm trying to think. Did people know Watch the Throne was happening before they announced? Like, when did they announce
that? I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe not.
I think it just like... cause I remember
No, they did because Ham came out.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which was like...
At South by.
Yeah. No. Was it South? No, it was before that. Ham came out very early, and I don't think people liked it.
Right.
So he went back in. I remember that being a whole thing.
Yeah.
But we weren't around for like the Ham stuff. That was like in London or something.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else was filming. So like, yeah, people knew what it was. So we knew what it was.
Yeah.
And we were like 18, like in Australia, like Jay-Z, Kanye. It was ridiculous. Looking back on it, it's so ridiculous. Like, I have to give so much props to like Virgil for being like people say people are visionaries, but he's like a true visionary, and he like sees things very early. So for him to really risk his job and be like, yo, let me plop these 18-year-olds who weren't even that good at the time in this situation. It's like,
yeah. Do you ever think like, why us?
Yeah, but I mean, I think about that on a lot of things, but I guess it was just destiny.
And how close? Like, were you afraid to like get up close to these guys to film?
I guess at that point, like we had been a little more comfortable with Kanye, but that doesn't mean anything. Like you're still super nervous. I remember like being in a room and you see like Jay-Z walking in, and it's just like I'm not about to look at this guy. And then like it's like Beyonce, and it's like okay. They happen to be like the nicest people though.
Yeah,
just crazy.
And how long did you stay down there?
It was like a week or so. They were like recording in like this crazy mansion and like having dinners every night. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Were you also having crazy dinners?
No, not until the crazy. I don't even know if I can tell this. I remember the last dinner, Kanye left town. It was just J and B, and they were like, "Yo, you guys have to eat with us." And I remember it's like a story Mike will probably tell you too one day of like Beyonce passing him the gravy and like asking us why we're here. Like, why? Like, how do you guys like get here? You guys are like 18. This is crazy. But like, yeah, that was like, I'll never forget that. And I have terrible memory. I probably don't remember too much about that trip other than that.
Well, do you remember how long it took you to put the entire project together?
It's still not out. Like the documentary aspect of it. So even the one that's out is not the. We didn't edit that one. Crazy story.
Well, there was footage that.
Yeah,
that
there was
leaked.
one that leaked that had some of our footage in there, but like there was another guy involved that I don't know. Man. It's so long. It happened so long ago. Like I probably can be like, yeah, this guy sucks. He's probably gonna hear it, but you suck, bro. Yeah, so it leaked, but like.
Well, how did it feel when that happened?
It felt terrible because we were still working on it. It was like 2 documentaries happened at the same time. Like this one guy who was editing his own that somebody really liked, and then there was like me and Mike and Virgil being like, "Yo, man, you guys have to make this better." And it just that one leaked while we were working on the other one. I remember somebody texted me like, "Yo," or tweeted me like, "Yo, saw your name on the Watch the Throne doc credits." I was like, "What?" I was like, "They like dropped some footage."
Was it me?
It was not you.
No.
I don't remember who it was.
Was it up on illroots.com?
It was not on Illroots. That's probably was the only non-leaked thing.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
And
we're skipping a lot of crazy Watch the Throne stuff.
We can
yeah.
go back.
No.
Fine going
That's
back.
that's fine because I probably like legally can't talk about any of this.
right.
It's all good though. Definitely put it in the podcast.
But so you come off this life-changing trip
Yeah.
all the way to the other side of the world.
Right.
You're definitely not going to college again.
No,
at
it
this
was
point.
it was over at that point.
Well, and where do you go once you get back to the States?
East Village.
So you're still here and you're still doing
Yeah.
work for that project.
Yeah, just like overall at that point it was like, all right, good music per se as opposed to like you work for Ye. So it was like Sean stuff, Pusha stuff. It was really just Sean and Pusha. Because those were like the 2 guys where it's like, all right, I can like really get down and dirty and work with you.
And you guys did the ass video.
Yeah, that was.
Was that much later?
No, I was 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy story too.
Well, so real quick, you had worked with Sean when you were back in Chicago.
Yeah, so it was all kind of happening at the same time. So it was like, all right, Sean video. But I remember being like in RSVP with Don C when he got like some Sean video sent to him, like get you some or something. And I remember he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get you guys like a Sean video, get you guys like $500." It never happened, but Mike ended up somehow finessing it. But like, it was, I guess Sean was before Ye. But like right around the time we started getting super cool with Sean is when we got when Virgil had us come out. So I remember we were supposed to shoot a Sean video, and then we got the New York call, and it was like, "Sorry, bro, can't shoot your video." And yeah.
And did you and Sean become friendly first, or was it like
no? It was just
professional?
Yeah, he was more cool with Mike Wax actually, which is funny. I remember he'd be like, "Yo, like the video drop, it says like directed by Mike Carson." He'd be like, "Shout out to Mike Wax." That was like the thing for a while, and then like obviously like we all got close.
Maybe you were Mike and Wax was Wax, you know?
Wow,
Yeah.
that makes me feel way better. Actually.
Yeah.
You get the call to do the ass video, and is that?
Yeah, that was like a 2-part thing. So like that song didn't have Nicki on it at first. I think that came out after it came out. So we were going to shoot that video, and at the time it was more like, "Yo, this song is called Dance. Like we need to have like a dance." Like I remember his manager at the time was like, we're gonna shoot this in Atlanta. We're gonna have like the fraternities and like it's all about dance because the label was scared of the other thing,
Right.
which is crazy. So we're like shooting. We're about to go shoot it in Atlanta for like, I think the budget was like $35,000, which sounds like a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. But to us as 19, not knowing anything, a lot of money.
Yeah,
so
sure.
we're like, we're gonna produce the video ourselves. We're gonna shoot it ourselves, and which is like cool when you're shooting on like 5Ds and stuff, but not cool when you have like a whole record label handing you this money and being like, oh, what about catering? Oh, what about like wardrobes? Like what about all this stuff?
Makeup.
So we have this whole plan of this video, or we have to shoot in Atlanta. I remember like video commissioner at the time. It's like, yo, you guys are blowing it. Like, I'm gonna just put a producer on this. So they like hired this producer. They like looked through the thing. Like, whoa, you guys are paying yourself way too much money to be doing this. Like, so they like figured out how to like fix our budget, and we shot the first half of the video, which this is before Nicki Minaj verse. I think he ended up getting the verse while we're at the video. So we're shooting it. It's like cool. So we have to do a cut. So in this cut, it was just Sean on the white background, and it was like a shot of like these girls on projector, and it was like this party shot. That's all the video is at first. So remember, everybody's freaking out like, yo, this video is trash. Like, this does not look like $35,000. Like, so it was like, yo, Nicki's down to do the video. So it's like, whoa. And at the same time, it's like, yo, you get a second chance to make this video tight.
Yeah.
So we crammed like 6 more setups in with like Sean to like figure it out, and then like our 2 Nicki setups. I vividly remember having to be on the phone with like Safari a lot. Like,
Oh my God.
he was really cool.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's the first
Yeah.
nice thing that anybody's ever said about him.
Yo, shouts to Safari. He was
Yeah.
like, he was a cool dude.
So she was down in Atlanta too.
No, we shot Sean's part in Atlanta, came back to New York, chopped it up, wasn't good, and then they were like, all right, Nicki's down to shoot. We can shoot in New York, which is cool. So we had like a studio, we had a few more setups, and then so we spent most of the day shooting Sean. I think we were supposed to have like 4 or so hours with Nicki. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's probably like 10 minutes or something.
Right.
And then like I remember one of the setups was like this glass, this like producer hired this art director. It was like this setup with like all glass mirrors, and like I remember the glass just kept falling.
Oh
They're
my
like, yo,
God.
Nicki's about to come out, the glass has to stop falling. So like it stopped falling, and so we shot that one scene of Nicki, and she's like a bodysuit, and then like the super iconic shot of Sean and Nicki on like the backdrop, which was like crazy because at the time it was no videos of like Nicki and a dude.
Yeah.
So I feel like that video was like the setup of like the Nicki Minaj and dude performance shot, whether it's like 2 Chainz or it's like Drake, or like it was like, oh man, it's like Nicki Minaj and this guy, she's like twerking on him. It's like crazy.
Did you have any hesitation giving direction at that point?
At this, honestly, we didn't give much direction to Nicki Minaj. It was like, yo, she's on set. She's like, she's here. Cool. Can you stand right here? All right, cool. You good? All right, let's go. I wasn't like, yo, twerk on Sean. It was like,
right.
Yeah, what's your motivation?
yeah, I'm like 19, and like I remember like somebody who used to work with her told me like later on, she's like, man, like Nicki was so mad, like we were directing the video. She's like, these kids are my brother's age. Like, they don't know anything. Like, it worked out though.
And
Man, it worked. That was a long process to getting that video to what it was.
well,
So,
how long did it take you to edit?
it didn't take me that long to edit the actual video,
Is that
but like
because Mike Wax did it?
no, I was the editing guy,
Yeah.
but like the edit didn't take that long to get it to like a version that majority of people like, but she hated it
She hated it.
for a long time.
Did Sean like it?
Sean loved it.
And the label liked it.
They liked it.
Oh,
It was
great.
like Nicki twerking on Sean. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
how are you not gonna like this? So like, it took a lot of calls with Safari to like get it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I was like, I had like a girlfriend in college at the time that was still at that college. So I like remember being at her like dorm, like talking to Safari. Just crazy. That was probably the first like, oh wow, like the world is like, who are these kids?
Well,
Yeah.
and did you think at that time that you could make yourselves into a legitimate like music video directing team for anybody?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, you're on like cloud 9 at that point, and we're still not 20. I
Right.
wasn't 20 yet. I think Mike was 20.
Did you have a fake ID?
No, I don't drink, so I never really like. Well, never had the like whole like, oh, let me get a fake ID face, but except when it was like, all right, let me try to get in this show, I can't get in.
Right.
But we used to finesse that.
Yeah. Through Jeff.
Yeah.
So when you at this point, who are you shopping yourself around to?
We never really shopped ourselves. It was just like, it was cool because Ill Roots was like a thing, and it was at that point bubbling because we were doing all these other small videos. And people were like, oh, okay. And then like Sean was starting to pop, so people were just like kind of seeing stuff. But I don't think we ever really shot like a huge video after that wasn't Sean. When I think about it, we were still like shooting these like very New York, Brooklyn, such as in New York for a show. We have an hour to shoot a video type of things, which was cool because it like taught us how to like be self-sufficient and like. And
there was no glass falling.
And there was no glass falling. Yeah.
Just rooftop shots with.
Yeah.
How did you get in touch with Lloyd Banks?
I'm trying to. I think we were doing a bunch of stuff with Pusha, and it was a Pusha Lloyd Banks song. So we had just shot something with Pusha, and they were like, "Yo, just have them shoot the video." We probably charged them like $2,000 or something, which is crazy. I remember Mike Weiss being super hyped to shoot Lloyd Banks. He's like a huge G Unit fan. It meant nothing to me. Right. It was just like, okay, cool. Like it was a funny experience. I remember somebody stole one of my Jordans, like on that set. Just one.
What?
Yes, one.
How did you get home?
I had like two pairs of like I was wearing like another pair of shoes while I was shooting, and I like had like some Jordan 6s like somewhere, and somebody stole one shoe. I'll never forget this.
That's so crazy.
Yo, if you're out there, and you have Mike Carson's one shoe,
reveal yourself.
Yeah.
Leave a comment,
please, man.
So, talk to us about what the South by Southwest experience was like for you guys and how it developed over time.
First time we ever went there was with like 15 other people from Chicago. Like, this dude, Joe Fresh Goods, I know you listening. Terrell, all you guys. So we all like just bummed it up and went to South by super last minute and all stayed in like one hotel room.
Oh my God.
But it was cool because it was like our first South by experience. And we were like,
did you go to bed?
On the floor, yeah. So yeah, that was like the first one. And then I'm trying to think, when did we first start doing it? I think Mike would like get people to put like, he would start like sponsoring showcases in the sense of like just like on like a media coverage side, and then somehow that turned into like us doing the Illmore, which was like Ill Roots and Scoremore. Scoremore is like the big Texas promotions company. Like they bring all the artists through Texas. So Mike and Sasha knew each other, and yeah, the Illmore happened. It was a house at first, like an actual house that we all were staying in. And I remember like Sean was there, Wiz Khalifa was there.
Was Waka the first year?
No, first year was very very organic, like Bun B, like Big Sean, Wiz Khalifa, Currency type of vibe.
Yep.
I think the next year is when it was in like the fake house, the spot that looked like a house. That was when it was like, okay, we have like a sponsor, and like people saw like the video from last year. They were like, okay, we might pull up. And I think the next year was when it was like the crazy like floor cracking Kendrick Lamar.
Like legitimate crack the floor.
Yeah, legitimate crack the floor year. And then after that, it just got too crazy.
How long were the lines outside of the place? And also, what was your relationship like with the cops?
Lines were pretty lit.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. I mean, I think as it became more of a thing, this like urban legend of like, oh, the Illmore, like it got crazier. But yeah, I think they had some type of special deal with the cops. Like nothing illegal. Like they were hiring cops, but like it worked out. Yeah.
And your relationship at Sean at that point has developed into what?
Sean wasn't my like daily priority yet. But we're like close. We like shot a lot of videos by then. So it's like, yo, pull up to the Illmore, and it was like cool. Because at the time it was just a house, and it was like cool. People were just kicking it, and like all the rappers are there. And then it was like, yo, come perform here, and it was like cool. It was popping. So.
At what point do you get involved in Sean's day to day?
Is that like Detroit?
Yeah, that was like when it was super like okay, like this is our guy. Because I remember like the video when Nicki came out. I remember being in the car with my mom, and Sean called me like, "Yo, I want you to do all my videos, like you and Mike." So I think after that we did all his videos. Maybe
You were just like, no, I can't. I'm already doing all this stuff with Lloyd Banks.
Exactly, yeah. So like we would like do a bunch of video stuff, and then it like started turning into like, okay, merch or something, and then it was like, all right, here's the full blown keys.
So what did you know at that point about the title creative director?
It wasn't until 2013 where I was like on paper as Sean's creative director, but like I think we were creative directing Sean.
And what do you think about like the title today? Because just like that is like
it's watered down, but I mean there are people who actually do it. I think I'm a creative director. I mean I know I'm a creative director on paper. I am Big Sean's creative director contractually.
Yeah.
But like yeah, there's some really great creative directors. So I came up under like Virgil, so it's like you see a true creative director. Whether people want to, whatever you want to say about him, he's the most creative director out of any of these guys.
And from a creativity standpoint, actually, you know what? From a production standpoint, did you learn a lot from Virgil?
Yeah, man, it's crazy because it probably jaded me, like seeing like the Virgil, Kanye, like Def, like how they operated. Because it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this with Sean, and it's like, no, you're not. Like, you're not Kanye West. Like Sean's not Kanye at the time. Like, he's not now, but like, we were like trying to get past.
He wasn't
things.
Big Sean.
Yeah, he wasn't Big Sean yet. So it was like, oh, we're gonna turn this in the day before. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Like, I'm like, yo, I just saw Virgil and Kanye do this. Like, I know it works like this, which is crazy because it kind of like we now have the leverage now to do stuff like that. But like, yeah, I mean, learning from Virgil was like, you know, it was like the blueprint.
Did you know anything about like merchandise going into this?
First time I ever did merch was with Ill Roots.
Right,
we were doing Ill America. Yeah, so that was like my first taste of like designing. So by the time it was like, all right, do some Sean merch, I kind of knew, but it was bad. Like, really what I think grew me to be a creative director was Ill Roots. Because it was like, you have to know how to do this merch. Okay, you need to know how to like design this event, or like you need to know how to direct this video, or like help this artist with this. So it's like you have all these talents of things you just kind of picked up and learned, and then it's like, okay, you have an artist now who needs all these things too, and it's like, yeah.
And so with Sean, when do you start doing his lighting and stage design?
Yeah, it was more like he was going on tour. I think it was 2012, and he was like, yo, I'm like having a screen. So I was like, all right, we'll figure it out. I never did anything like this before outside of like high school theater. So
and Sean was just like Cinderella.
Exactly. Yeah, so it wasn't even like lighting at first. It was just like visuals, as people say. So I was like chopping up like stock footage, and like I had all the files to his music video. So I had like a full Nicki take we can put on the screen.
Oh man,
just very like unauthorized. So it was like, all right, that song will come on, and it's like you can see the full Nicki close up take, which was tight to me.
That's
and,
awesome.
Like, Marvin and Charnett had like the files, so it was like full Kanye take. So that was like the vibe up front. So I was like, yo, this is tight. So after a while, like I would be like writing like the lighting notes and stuff, or whoever his LD was at the time, and like he wasn't doing it. And then at that time, I think a year later is when I became Sean's creative director on paper. So it was like, all right, cool, we need to figure the show out. So I was just learning as I was going.
Do you feel like you guys brought the VHS look back?
Ill Roots, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I will say this right now, and I don't say a lot like that, but like, yeah, for sure. Like, first off, me and Mike did like a Chip the Ripper video when he was still Chip the Ripper, and our guy Ken Kohler like shot it, and we were like, yo, you should you should edit the video and then shoot it with a VHS camera, like the finished product. So if you go back and look, that was like the first of the Ill Roots VHS, and then Mike found Gabe of Uzi, which was like, okay, super iconic VHS. Everybody's on VHS, and then it was like, now it's VHS. You know, then it was just a full VHS explosion.
Because today,
which I thought died, but it's back.
Yeah,
it's like super in vogue now. Like,
yeah, it's
like
crazy.
through apps and and all
that's
that.
tight to me. But like, yeah, it's crazy.
But
like,
people should know where it was born from.
It wasn't even born, but it's just like I feel like in
it was
our
born in like the 80s,
right,
and
like Jesus, it came back, with the real roots.
I feel like in like hip hop, blog, whatever culture, it was for sure. It was 100%.
Did you get involved with the billboards for Hall of Fame?
Yes.
So talk about what that was like.
Hall
Hollywood Boulevard, right?
It was like
Or
Sunset.
rather,
Yeah.
Wait, is that the one that it was a giant billboard and it said Swerve?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was me and Mike Wax.
Amazing.
Which is
amazing.
but
Yeah.
also like probably dangerous.
Oh, for
Yeah.
people to see it and then
And like probably a complete waste of the label because it doesn't say Big Sean Hall of Fame really big. Hall of Fame was like the first like.
But you did that on purpose, though.
Yeah,
You were
yeah,
like,
for sure.
yeah.
Hall of Fame was like the first real taste of like, okay, this is the ins and outs of the music industry. You like saw it from afar, but like this is like the real like, this is how this works. So like at the time, Sean, like I wasn't Sean's creative director yet, but we had just did Detroit, and it was like we were off the hype of that, and Sean was like, yo, these are my guys. And then like there's another creative director that got hired to do the project. Shouts to him. You can just look it up. So we were like under him, whatever. And then after that, that's when Sean was like, yo, like, this is you.
Yeah. And that's also like the strength of you guys. You guys went out to LA with him.
Yeah.
like,
Well, I
mentioned
think
or whatever.
I was super over New York, and like we were living in Brooklyn at the time, like East Bushwick or something. Was
Very
not
hip.
I don't even think it was. It's probably super hip now, but I think we came on like the cusp of like,
Dangerous.
okay,
Yeah.
not even dangerous. It just wasn't tight. It wasn't like inspiring to me.
Right.
No diss to Brooklyn. I know how you guys are, but like, I wasn't inspired. Like, I was in like this. We were in this tiny apartment, like, and like, I don't know. I just wanted it to. I wasn't feeling it. I'm not like a scene kid where I like go out and like do New York stuff. Like, I'm trying to think what the New York thing to do was at the time, 2010.
Ride the train until it stops.
No, it was like the hip like rap thing to do. I don't know, like because there wasn't like a
What, go to like Santos?
yes Santos.
So you were over that.
I wasn't into that,
Yeah.
so it was like, all right, man. Like, and I think we all were just kind of like, we need to change the scenery. So, I had enough money to move to LA. So like I moved there, and Mike had a roommate, but I this other kid I was gonna move with kind of backed out on me, so I needed to like, I had nobody to live with, so I was like, I need to figure this out. So like my roommate, like it's this guy Zeno Jones, who now manages Sean.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was just like, man, like I know you've been living with Sean, but like I'm about to move to LA, like we should just like room. And he's like, So like I went and saw the crib. I'm like, man, please, like he didn't even see the crib before he moved in. I think he just trusted me. And so like that's still my roommate to this day.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
And what part of, like, did you know anything about Hollywood?
No, I was living in North Hollywood, but like I remember when I was in like New York, I was like, yo, I'm not moving to the Valley, because that was like the cool thing to say, like, yo, you're not living in the Valley. Like you get to LA, you're like, all you can afford to do is live in the Valley.
Yeah.
So like I remember Travis was living in North Hollywood at the time, so I would like sleep on his couch, and like while we were trying to like figure out.
Not a big couch.
Yes. We were like trying to figure out like where we're gonna live and all this good stuff. Shouts to Travis.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because when I lived in Brooklyn, he would sleep on my couch.
Oh,
so
man.
it was like
That's wild.
yeah. Shouts to Travis, Chase,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all these guys. It's like we all kind of like catapulted at the same time. Like
Yeah.
like we all like came up differently, but like I think 2010, 11 is when we all were like, okay.
Let's
Yeah.
all wear camouflage, bape. And
Yeah, which is like I was looking through my Vine the other day, like when they were like deleting it, and it was like this Vine of Travis seeing himself on TV at the first time in
Whoa.
my North Hollywood apartment. And I was like, well, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to think about.
So North Hollywood, you have a car out there?
No.
How are you getting around?
Uber. Uber had just popped off.
Yeah.
And it was like a lifesaver. Yeah.
What are your days and nights like in LA?
I think that was like right around the time Detroit was coming out, so it was a lot of Sean, and it was a lot of like Ill Roots, like video merch type stuff, and like Travis Scott, like going to the studio with Travis till like 6 a.m.
So these are studios, like legit studios, not home studios.
A bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Travis had just got signed at that point, so he had like, you get your first record budget. You're in the big studio,
Right.
You're not at the crib, and then after a while, you're like, I want to be at the crib.
Right. And so Sean hires you as his creative director
2013.
in 2013.
Yeah.
And do you think, all right, well, I got the keys now,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this, this, and this, or are you just like, let me see where this goes?
We kind of already were in a sense. At that point, it was just like it was like me and Mike doing the Sean stuff before I was like his creative director, and then Michael like was like gonna focus solely on Ill Roots, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do Sean and Ill Roots. So like I was like, it was still me and Mike, but this was like my time to like, all right, you gotta step up, and do it yourself.
Right.
So
this is a time when like, you know, Drake is around. This is a time when like a lot of people are still talking about. Are you ever starstruck after seeing Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye? Like nobody tops that for you.
No.
What was it like meeting Drake?
First time I met Drake was in Houston at the first time he did his Houston Appreciation. Because Virgil had plugged me. Because Virgil was helping them with their show at the time. So I was doing like content, and then I had to like go show Drake a bunch of the stuff in Houston. I have to find out what year this was. 2014, maybe. Yeah. So like I had to show him the content, and he was like, "Yo, this is like the best content I've ever had." It was for his wireless show. That never happened. So like all throughout like my like come up in like careers, all these things that like you work on for super long that never happened, which is it's cool though, because it like you don't get comfortable in like I don't know, I don't think you take it for granted when there's like there's a chance this might not happen, which is cool, because it's like if you get thrown right into it and it's like this is all happening for me all the time, every time, you're gonna get like comfortable and like I don't know, it's not as special.
Right.
So like worked on this Drake stuff for super long, and then he like got sick or something, and then the show never happened. And then like Drake Wayne tour came about, and they wanted to like repurpose the content, so that was like the first time I probably had something with Drake out there.
And so they did repurpose the content.
Yeah.
And you went to the show and you saw it?
Yeah, at the Hollywood Bowl, first rap show ever at the Hollywood Bowl.
And how'd it look?
It looked tight.
Yeah.
It was tight. It was like it was a crazy moment, because it was like the first rap show that they've ever had there, and it was like my first time seeing my stuff that big, I think.
And Travis put you on his Vine?
I don't know. Probably, yeah, maybe.
What kind of cameras were you shooting on at this point?
I feel like this is when I started realizing I didn't want to do music videos, and I was like, I want to do like shows. So and like I was super.
Well, why is that? Like, were you just tired of?
Yeah, I think the process, it's like cool, but like it's also extremely draining, as everything is. But like, I don't know. Sometimes the like return is just not there for me. Like you spend all this time on what you think is super tight, and then like it hits YouTube, and it's like, what is this? And it's like, okay, or like you spend all this time on this video, and you think it's about to be the artist single or whatever, and it's not, and it's like, yeah, I'm over this. And it was like shows I like saw, it was like a wide open like range of like, okay, there's like people like Sean who aren't Kanye, in a sense of where they don't have $1 billion to do like these crazy shows. So I'm like, I want to hit this pocket of people who are fresh and like deserve to have like dope stuff. So like Sean was like my muse, in the sense of like, okay, I can try everything with him and like see what works and what doesn't work. And I think the first person I ever did content for outside of Sean was Rocky through Virgil. That was like 2 days before they were going on tour, and like Virgil was like, yo, come to like the studio, like I want you to do some stuff for Rocky. And it was just like right when what was the first album?
Live
Love.
It.
Yeah, Live Love It. Yeah.
So it was like very VHS, like static, like riot footage type stuff.
Yeah, is this the one where they like basically reenacted Vietnam?
No, not that one. I think this is when he went on tour with Rihanna.
Right, I saw that one too. Yeah,
he had like 2 screens, and like it was just like, it was super like found footage YouTube stuff, like mixed with static and like some text, because we had like 2 days to do it. Rocky was cool. I remember I had to like go to his house, and like I was like, yeah, I need to get some content. So I like shot it, like grills, like him rapping, like, you know, iconic ASAP Rocky shot.
Yeah.
That's probably been shot 1 million times. But yeah, that was tight. I'm still cool with Rocky now.
Do you feel at this point you know Sean maybe better than Sean knows himself? Like where you're steps ahead and you're just like this?
In 2017?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he knows himself, but like, yeah, for sure. Like, so I've like dedicated like the last 4 or 5 years of my life to like the Big Sean project.
Right. Do you have an album that really? I mean, you might say it's I Decided, but is there an album that really speaks to you more than another?
This one does for sure, but I think Dark Sky was my first time being like, okay, you know how to do this now, so like this is how you do it. So it was like, we had like an initial meeting, like me and Sean played the album for Virgil and like told him what we wanted to do, and he was like, okay, cool, this is what I think too, and he was like, do it. So yeah, we did it. And I remember he had a rule. He was like, yo, Sean's next album cover, like no Photoshop. And we shot the cover in Paris with Fabian with no Photoshop. Like everything on that cover is in camera, like down to the water, like everything. It's like no Photoshop.
There was Photoshop for I Decided though.
Yes, but
Sean cannot be in two separate places at once.
No, that's an old man next to him.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, you look hard.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get you the high res.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Dark Sky was like the first time it was like, all right, it's all on you. You know, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna try to direct all the videos now either. It's like, let me get like who I think is like the tightest directors, with the exception of all but one video I was like really a part of. You can guess the one I'm not a part of. Just guess and like, or look at all the videos and say, okay, which one doesn't?
Right.
Like I was a part of it, but I like a strong arm. But yeah. So Dark Sky was like the first time it was like, this is your project, and it was like in the credits like creative direction, Big Sean.
What concerts inspire you?
Now or just throughout life?
Throughout life.
Glow in the Dark tour for sure was like I didn't even know at the time I wanted to do stuff like that, but I remember it changing my perspective on Kanye, because like growing up I was a huge Kanye fan, like
Chicago,
and just like how I grew up, my parents weren't super heavy on the rap stuff, so Kanye was like he's at like the Grammys with the choir and stuff, so it was like, okay, you can kind of listen to this guy. So like super into Kanye. I remember Graduation was coming out, and I was super in this backpack phase that everybody goes through. Like the first single was like Can't Tell Me Nothing. I'm like, what is this? So I was like over Graduation when it came out. And I remember I went to the show and I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like it made me like the album, which today I think is probably number 2 for me for Kanye.
What's number 1?
Late Registration.
Oh, you and Jeff. I think Late Registration is a little lower, but
you cannot beat that out. I was listening to it the other day, like this is the craziest album. Like, what are people like? The bar is so high, like to me with that. But yeah,
I thought Graduation was the perfect.
I love Graduation.
Every Kanye album is the best album. Like I just
I think Late Registration. I'm gonna do a quick order.
Yeah, okay.
Love like the top 5.
Yeah.
Late Registration.
No, you gotta do top 8.
No. I'm not falling into that trap. Late Registration. Graduation.
Mm-hmm.
For me, 808s is high up there.
You're such an emotional guy.
Yeah, man. I was listening to that the other day, like, yeah. Not gonna get that deep. But College Dropout.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Fantasy, is that 5?
That's 5.
Yeah.
All right, I'll leave it at that.
I feel like you didn't say Yeezus.
You didn't say Watch
the
Throne.
I like Yeezus. I like Watch the Throne. But for me, like...
By the way, Watch the Throne is the best Throne album ever.
Yeah.
It is.
Top Throne.
It's the best one.
Wait, what was it like going around for the Yeezus like promotion? You were part of that too, right?
No, just Dark Fantasy.
Gotcha.
But yeah, which didn't happen because he decided he didn't want to do press anymore the day we got hired.
Oh, good.
So you can imagine how like, yeah.
So then what did you end up doing?
I'm trying to think of what we were doing for those few months. It wasn't
anything.
It was like maybe like Sean stuff or like Il Roots stuff.
When it comes to Sean, do you have like a mood board? Do you think in colors? Does Sean think in colors or moods or?
I don't necessarily think in color, but like maybe, I don't know what that like. Maybe, but like yeah, for like Dark Sky and I Decided, absolutely. Like I can I have like PDFs on my like computer of just like this was the vibe, and we like stayed true to it. This one too, for sure. Like I went into it when like Sean was in Europe. I was only in Europe for a little bit, and remember he came back like, yo, what are we doing? Like, so like I had the whole concept of like bringing color back to his his thing, which because like when he was early on in his career, everything was super colorful.
Yeah.
It was too colorful, and then it was like, okay, dark sky was like our super monochromatic, desaturated phase, and then I think I decided it's like, okay, we're still in this dark phase, but it's like using light and color as like a metaphor throughout. Check out the album.
Yeah.
It'll make a little sense.
What was SNL like?
Wow. It was a lot. Probably my least favorite TV I've done in a while.
Experience? Really?
Not even like experience, just like experience. Yeah.
Is it because they
The parameters of the room.
It's the parameters. Period.
Yeah.
It's cool though. It was like amazing to have that look in the rollout. Like
because
Well, are you able to talk about like what the original vision was or no?
Yeah, I just wanted to like, you see SNL, you're like, yeah, I want to go. You see what everybody's done on there, you're like, I'm gonna go crazy. Oh, you got SNL, cool. And it was like, no.
were you there for the 40th anniversary?
I wasn't.
When Kanye had the scrim.
That was dope.
Yeah,
that's probably his best SNL to me.
And so for you guys, are you there the whole week?
No, we're there from. Well, I have been here all week doing something else, but yeah, we were there from Thursday or Wednesday on. Mm-hmm. So you do like, I don't know if I can talk. Yeah, okay. You do one rehearsal and then you go home and then you do another dress rehearsal and then you do like it was like a 3-day thing.
Well, what's your favorite TV to do? You just did Ellen.
Yeah, Fallon for sure.
Fallon.
Yeah, we did Fallon last night. They're just cool in there. They let us do whatever.
Same building.
Yeah, it's like
different experience.
2 floors down.
Yeah.
And then like it's cool because like I've been in there enough to know like, okay, avoid this and like don't say this to this guy and like do this.
Yeah.
Which is cool because like when I work with other artists outside of Sean, like that might get to Ellen before him or so, or like I can already know going in now with Sean, like don't do this, which is cool because it's like Sean doesn't have to be the guinea pig all the time. Right. Yeah.
Our friend Raven would be very upset if we didn't mention her in this podcast.
Whoa.
Yeah. But you did go to the Beyonce concert with her.
Yeah.
What was it like being next to a screaming lunatic for 3 hours?
Crazy. Shout out to Beyonce. She's
what did you think of Beyonce's live show?
She's the best. Beyonce is like the best, period. Like, not even to be like the Beyonce stan dude, because I'm not, but like as far as like rollout and like visual, like at this point in her career, like everything is so like she's inspiring. She's like the one person that's left on my list
to work with.
Yeah.
Well, she already collaborated with Mike Wax. She
That's
gave
right.
him
Pass
gravy.
the gravy. Yeah.
Wow. I was like, whoa, I missed the like collaboration. I was about to hit him.
What is it like to have to keep secrets all the time?
It's easy now. After being like 18 and like not being able to tell anybody anything, you can do anything. Because now it's like affects my life more so because it's like, all right, stuff I'm directly working on and coming up with, and like I would be mad if somebody like I was at the listening parties literally slapping phones. It's like, yo, you get invited to a listening party and you want to be on Instagram Live. Like,
right.
It's nothing more disrespectful than that to me.
Oh, wait, the one just now?
Yeah, all of them. We did, yeah. This is a crazy week. We did like 3 listening parties. We have like 4 pop-ups, and we did 2 TV shows.
Oh my god!
That's
Constantly on the plane.
Yeah, I saw you were at LaGuardia like 3 times this week.
Yeah, I think we've done New York to LA 3 times this week.
You got that quick pass though, right?
Oh yeah, TSA pre-check.
Yeah,
Shout out to that. Probably like sold my soul for that, but
you were involved with the Drake tour, right?
Yeah. So Summer 16. That's probably the most like extensive thing I've ever been a part of.
And so
on a show side,
it's super iconic.
Yeah.
In terms of those globes, rising and lowering and moving, and
which I can't take credit for. That was all them. We just kind of like initially Future hit me up to like direct the content, and then like when we got there, it was like, all right, let's all work together to make this show make sense. So it was like a true collaborative. Drake's super hands on. Like I know people say that in interviews, but like super like he knows what he wants in the sense of like okay, you're like at a level of like I'm here, so it's like I'm not trying to like things I can kind of get away with other people. He's like, no, it's like he's competing with like the guys. So it's like,
well, I mean, but then what does Sean think when you're working with Drake?
I think it's just like at the time he was in Europe, so it was nothing for me to do in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
He was like on tour with Rihanna like in the daytime. Mm-hmm. So it was like, all right, we sent something out and like I'm gonna come back home. Let's not waste money. So I was just here, so it was like, all right, this is a time where I can go and spend a whole month of my life on something else. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm not in Europe right now with Drake.
Right. So you spend a month on that. Are you in rehearsals and like, is it like a warehouse or how did they?
Well, I really spent more than a month because it was like making content and then like getting down there and then none of the content working out and then like a week before redoing everything.
Oh my God.
So it was like Arena and Texas, Drake.
Yeah.
And then like, it's Arena and then like staying on tour for 2 weeks and just changing the show every day.
Now at this point with Sean, are there a lot of hurdles to get over, or is it you have a direct line and it's just like you guys want something done, you make it happen?
It's probably been more freedom with this one than the other ones, but he still has to go through a lot. But I think the team this time really just we stuck to our guns and like we're all on one page and like, you know, fighting for the same thing.
What did you guys think when you saw the J. Cole documentary on HBO?
It was tight because we were on that tour. I like the little other episodes more probably because that was more so just like the show, which we saw every night.
Right.
But it was cool to like see their perspective of like what was going on.
And also, you know, this is a major rap artist putting out just a ton of content through Vimeo and then HBO.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so different from what everyone else is doing. Does it inspire you and push you into like, well, what else can we do?
Yeah, shouts to those guys. They're like super, like they inspire me in the sense of like, okay, we're gonna do it our way. That's like the most inspiring thing about like the way like Ebe and Adam and all those guys move. Also,
it's a project that actually came out. Like it's not just like, you know, sitting in someone's like
because they like took a real risk of like we're gonna like J. Cole's a very radio artist. When you think about it, we're not gonna do any radio or any singles or any of this stuff with Force Hills Drive. We're gonna drop it. That was a risk for sure. Like at the time, maybe not this one so much because he's like a way bigger artist now, but like. That's tight. Like taking a risk is like scary, but it's like when it works, it's like
You mean like dropping out of college and going to New York?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that much of a risk because it was like what was going on here, but it could have went left.
How did you start working with Bryson?
I started working with Bryson. His manager Neil, who I knew from Puff, called me while I was on tour with J. Cole and Sean, and he was like, "Yo, I have this like new artist," which is like. Usual, like most dreaded sentence. It's like, yo, I have this new artist. Like, I want you to work on the show. I was like, I didn't even hear the music at the time. Well, I didn't think I heard the music. So I was like, all right, for sure. I was like, bro, I'm on tour. I can't really do anything right now. But like, when I get off, you know, let's talk about it. Usually, that's like a cool like
brush off
way to get out of it. Yeah.
But this time, he hit me up after tour and was like, yo, it's coming up. There's a kid. Bryson Tiller. I was like, I didn't know who Bryson Tiller was, and he was like, he has a song, Don't. But what was crazy was Don't was in the house music playlist every night on tour with J. Cole.
Wow.
So I had been hearing the song. I was like, okay, I'm down to like figure it out. And then I met up with them, like this crazy mansion. I think they were like recording in, and he was like, yeah, this is Bryson. He was super shy and like.
His dad hat was pulled way low.
I guess, but but they were like, yeah, we're gonna like rehearse, which is like, I feel like a lot of new artists, they don't really rehearse. When I say they rehearse, they like really put a lot of time and effort into everything they do, especially the live show. So he rehearsed a lot. So his first show was with Travis, opening up for Travis. He was like, yo, like, there's going to be like a screen there. Like we need like some content and whatever, which is now I probably will not do again in the sense of like, okay, brand new artists, not a ton of whatever, but it's like, all right, I like believed in it. And like Neil, I trust Neil. So did that first show, opening up for Travis, and it worked out because it could have went really left when you think about it. Like Travis Scott fans, R&B.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were receptive of it.
I mean, it's two completely different moods.
Yes and no, because it's still like
Vibey.
Yeah, because Travis has a very he has this pocket of like very vibey stuff. So yeah, it just kind of worked out. And then remember he was doing these 3 shows, 2 shows, one at SOB's and one at the Roxy. And I couldn't make the SOB show, but we like put a design together, and I wasn't there. And apparently, like the vendor, whoever was providing the lighting, completely blew it. So I remember getting like these crazy calls, like, "Yo, man, this is like Bryson's first show. Like, like nothing's working. Like, no lighting." But like, some guys who I worked with like figured it out, and then like we did the LA show, which was super proper because like we were there, and then Bryson blew up, and
all because of the set design?
No, had nothing to do with the set design.
We all agree it was the set design.
What's the most important thing about lighting that you think young artists or people just starting out don't take advantage of? It's a really simple fix.
Wow, are we gonna give the juice? No, you just have to realize lighting is. You can directly affect anybody's mood with anything visually. So it's like, all right, you need to intensify a moment. You need to do something intense on stage, or you need to bring it down. You need to do something brought down on stage, or you can do the opposite and be like a artistic cool guy, and like it might work. But yeah, just like I'm about to hit a whole new wave of lighting in 2017. I don't think people were
all black, everything.
No, because everything's so like silhouetted and like Bryson Tiller,
you're like
Big Sean out. So it's like
you're like when Timbaland like thought that everyone was just like taking and stealing his.
Not even me. Like it's just like the vibe of everything right now is very like moody and like in the shadows. Like I've worked with some artists who I feel like we're at the forefront of that, but I don't think it's me. But just like I decided we're bright.
Yeah.
We're very like when we go on tour, it's like you're like, oh, okay, I'm not putting Sean and Silhouette on tour.
Are you going to?
I hope I don't regret saying this on here because I probably will. But
listen, the only people who are listening are the kids at Kanye to the.
Shout out to Kanye to the for not leaking Sean's album when you guys had a lot of the songs early. I don't understand that, man. Like how they get everything first.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not one of them.
I know, but I hope they leave a comment and tell us how they
Please
do.
do. Like
they need to give the juice.
Like every up until like the album, every one of our releases leaked early, and they had it first.
How do you hear that it's leaked?
Twitter, and I don't even have Twitter, but like
they add
Sean honestly sees all these like anytime something leaks, he's the first person to see it.
So even the stuff that he recorded,
that he's the one that's leaking.
No, he's not. This is crazy.
Even the stuff that he recorded in his home studio.
Yeah, because once you turn it in to the label and like, okay, you have Def Jam and then you have Universal Music, and you have all these like channels, and then it's like, okay, somebody can press a wrong button and it can hit YouTube early, or somebody can press the wrong button and it can premiere on Apple Music a day early. And that was happening, and these kids were seeing it first every single time. And then like the fan sites or something, they were like DM Sean like, "Yo, is this supposed to be out?" Which is cool because now they're like, I feel like we put the fear of God in them, like because like push out, push it. But like early on, it would just be up, but now they like hit us up, which I really appreciate.
Speaking of Pusha, what is your relationship with him as the head of Good Music? Like, what do you have to do? You have to run anything by him or?
No, I think everybody. Sean's at the point now where it's like everybody just trusts him. Mm-hmm. They don't have to
trust him.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. They don't have to like stand over his shoulder per se because he's like built his own team and his own. You know, he is who he is as an artist now. Not to say he wasn't some years ago, but he'll tell you himself that he has grown so much. So they know one person they don't have to worry about is Sean.
Right.
But Pusha is like also somebody I've known since I was 18, and who's been super supportive. And like I just saw him the other day. He's like always he's one of the few genuine people in the industry, I feel like.
How do you feel about Sean getting that Rockefeller chain?
Whoa, crazy! That was crazy for all of us.
The best thing ever.
Yeah. I mean, you can have all the chains in the world, but that's like the one like. It's like worldwide. Like I feel like out here, it's like okay, Rockefeller chain, and what Diplomat chain maybe, but like the Rock chain is like the most iconic.
Yeah.
And the Jesus piece is right next to it though.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Actually, when everybody gets, when all the artists get Yeezys like before they come out,
yeah, that's like. That's
do
like
you get those as well or no?
No, I don't rock with it. No, that's not the fault of anybody on Good Music. I don't know, but it's cool. I'm off Adidas.
That's fine.
Yeah. Shout out to
John Wexler.
Shout out to John Wexler. Yeah, we're on some new vibes. Even though I am probably wearing Y3. Y3 is the exception. Shout out. Yeah.
Actually, what is it like to walk into a show and to see an entire room full of people dressed up like you?
Like me?
Or like you, like Big Sean, like like
it's
people
tight.
within
It's
like
like
the circle.
It that's why I think I like shows more than I like music videos or like more internet type stuff, because it's in real life and you can like see reactions and see people. Yeah, you can like it's real life, so like somebody's gonna pull their phone out and take a picture of something you created, or like you see a kid wearing a t-shirt you made, or like you see a kid dressed exactly like Sean or Travis or Bryson. It's like instant gratification.
How do you feel about the Il America stuff that you designed way back when?
I think it's still dope.
Yeah?
Oh my god. Yo, I wanted the white tee so badly.
Roots presents white tee.
Yeah.
I just moved and like I have a box like
of those?
No, not of those. Of just all the stuff we did like that. I'm like, all right, I can't touch. Like, it might be,
Do you think any of it was like way ahead of its time?
Yes.
And could any of it come back?
It should.
Okay.
Yeah, it should.
What do you think about every artist now having a clothing line, a
Pop-up shop.
Like,
I think it's cool because you're not making money selling records unless you're like Adele and you're writing all the songs and producing. So it's like, yeah, make that merch money, make that show money. It's guys who like aren't on the radio or aren't on TV who are killing the merch and are killing the shows, like killing it. Like I'm trying to be like Tech Nine, like
yeah.
fully self-sufficient. Like you own everything and you like sell. Like everybody should do a pop-up shop. Like why not?
Yeah. So what is life like now? Now the album's out.
Yeah, it's
now
out. I haven't checked my phone in like an hour.
the first run of promo is done.
Yeah.
Now what do you get to do? Do you get to go home and relax and?
Well, no. But I think I have like a couple of days. My birthday's Wednesday, I think.
Nice.
So
wait, you and your brother are both?
No, my brother's a 27, so he probably won't be 21 by the time this comes out.
But both born in February.
Yeah, both born in February. Yeah, so today I'm gonna go to the pop-up shop.
Right.
What time is it? All right. I'm gonna go to the pop-up shop and
you're going to get us like 30 hoodies.
Got
right?
you. Yes.
Yep,
Pull up.
that. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pullover. It's a cardigan.
Yeah. And tomorrow, I think Sean has to go to Houston and Vegas in the same day, but I'm not doing that. I'm going to go to L.A. for a couple of hours and then go to Vegas.
Nice.
For Dre's. And then I'm going to chill for a couple of days. And then...
Well, you've earned that.
Yeah. How nice is that?
Yeah, for a couple of days.
You should creative direct your sleep.
I will be, yeah. Ill pillows.
Yeah.
Candles and, I got like a spa day I have to like trade in or something.
Well, congratulations on everything. You've gone from your dreams to making everyone else's dreams. It's
Man, I'm still living my dreams. I'm like super grateful to be here.
Well, you're certainly getting out your dreams. So
yes,
yeah.
I decided this was a great podcast.
Thanks for coming through, Mike.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks everyone for listening to this new episode of A Waste of Time with It's The Real, and thank you for rocking with us all week during February Surprise. Jeff, if people want to hear more episodes just like this one, if people want to find out more information about us, and if people want to come to our headlining show at SOB's on February 23rd called Your Girls Tour, where can they go?
You can always go to ItsTheReal.com, buy your tickets today, February 23rd, Your Girls Tour. We will be there on stage, rapping with you and at you. We can also be found on SoundCloud.com/A-Waste-of-Time. We are also on SoundCloud.com/ItsTheReal. That's where all of our music lives. We are on Instagram at ItsTheReal, Twitter at ItsTheReal, Facebook at ItsTheReal. If you want to search for us on iTunes, we are A Waste of Time with It's The Real. Also, we are on Snapchat. It's It's the Real and It's the Real Eric because It's the Real was taken.
Now, we like to spread the word about this podcast. That is a huge driver for all of our audience, and we like to tell that audience to tell their friends, to tell their family, to tell their in-laws, to tell their friends, to tell whoever they see on the street about A Waste of Time with It's the Real and get this podcast into everybody's ears, and we know that it starts with us. So, Jeff, who do you want to tell?
Well, since I'm thinking back to people who we've known since they were, like, children.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mike Carson, Mike Wax.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Carla Moy.
Carla Moy.
The prodigy, hustle girl from Canada. She was Drake's #1 fan. She might still be Drake's #1 fan.
Yeah,
and she is a DJ, and she is one of the best people out of Canada. Shouts to Hustle Girl. Shouts to Carla Moy.
Spread the word, Carla Moy. I would like to tell one of our best friends, David Cho. Now, we've shouted him out before, but I just want to say that David Cho is one of the smartest and most genuine people that we've ever met, and we appreciate his advice. Shout out to David Cho. Spread the word about A Waste of Time with It's the Real.
We're back Tuesday with a new episode.
Not for real, for real. See you then.